Okay, so I'm going to talk you through one of my favorite hamstring or posterior chain sort of exercises, and it's called the Glute Bridge Hamstring Curl. What a lot of people do maybe is only train the hamstrings with the hinge position, so your likes of RDLs, good mornings, deadlifts, swings, things like that. This movement actually now trains the hamstring from the kind of a hamstring curl type position, okay? So the setup's quite important. We want to make sure we have, well, first of all, I'm using a set of sliders here, really cheap, usually about 10 pounds, 10 to 15 pounds online. And because we have a rubber floor in the gym, I had to just bring in some mats, some sort of carpets so they can slide. So what I'm going to do first of all, I'm going to sit myself at the back of the mat because in reality my feet are going to be sliding out here, so I want this space out in front of me. Keeping the sliders away from you, I'm going to dig literally the back corner of my heel into the center of the disc on both sides. Then I'm going to lie back and then I'm going to pull my heels into the start position. So what I'll show you first is a couple of reps of the kind of the end goal of the hamstring curl. So we're going to bridge ourselves up, keeping the hips as high as we can. We're going to lengthen the legs out. As we curl the sliders back in, we want to drive our hips nice and high. Out nice and low, drag the hips high as we come in. Now, not everybody's going to be ready to start with that sort of the most advanced version of it. So the beginner version would just be doing the negative. So you're only doing the portion where you're allowing the legs to lengthen out in front of you. So let me show how you would do that. If you're maybe a beginner or only coming back to your sort of fitness journey, this might be a good place to start. So what we'll do here is we're going to bridge up, we're going to lower all the way out, straighten the legs out, bum comes down to the ground. I've now sat my bum down to the ground and easily slided the sliders back in. So up, we just go all the way out while we straighten, bum on the ground, pull them in, okay? And that's just working the eccentric or the negative portion of the movement. Then you kind of got your halfway house between that and the full version. Basically the halfway house is going to be trying your best to do the first version or the full version I showed you, but you maybe can't keep your hips at full height on the way back in. So we'll go all the way out. On the way back in, you might lose a bit of height in your hips. That's okay, as long as you're trying to keep your hips as high as possible, and as long as when you bring your heels in, that we reset back to the highest position. So we'll do a couple of reps of what that halfway house might look like. As you put your heels in, your bum isn't quite to the ground, but you've lost some height, reset the hips. All the way out, as you pull in, you've lost some height, reset. That's okay. As I said, as long as you're trying to keep your hips as high as you physically can, over time, you're going to progress to the full version. I'm just going to show you the full version one more time. So heels dug in nicely in the center. Please do take the time to do that and be particular about that, because if your heels start coming off the sliders, it's going to affect just how smoothly the movement goes for you. And then as I said, the end goal, you want to look something like this. Go to bridge up, all the way out, legs almost straight. As you curl the heels in, drag the hips super high. And this movement is absolutely fantastic for athletic performance, for sprint performance, for aggressive pedaling if you're a cyclist. And as I say, in general, it just keeps the posterior chain nice and healthy. Give it a go, start small. I'm a big fan of starting maybe something like 3 sets of 5, and over time, slowly, don't rush it. You want to build up to sort of 3 sets or maybe up to 15 reps. Give it a go. I hadn't used this movement in a few years, started doing it again recently, and I'm absolutely in love with it. We do it loads here in the gym. Give it a try.